Hello. So thank you so much for joining me. Today we're going to be learning about glazing. So I've been working on this project with you guys alongside me, and it's been really fun. So we're taking this formerly mahogany stained piece, updating it, fixing some things, and then we decided on to paint it this brick red color. So thank you all for your input. I asked for your suggestions on the colors, and we chose between the red, a nice neutral gray, and then a very beigey beige. And the red one won out, and I think it's going to be really great. So we're going to be painting it red and then using glaze to enhance some of the details. So glaze is a really cool product that you can use to really just enhance existing details or add some fun faux finishing, or you can also do things like bagging or sponging, rag rolling. I mean, there's all kinds of different faux finishing techniques that you can use using glaze, or you can create using glaze. So today, this is what we're working with. So this is General Finishes, and this is kind of just a quick example of some of the different colors. So this is all starting with a linen color, which is just an off-white, and then they have winter white. So this adds some white, almost kind of pearlescent color, and then black, which changes the color, but you can really see the details now. So that's what glazing helps to do. It helps to bring out those details and allow you to really showcase the craftsmanship. We also have, what is this? Oh, Van Dyke Brown. So this is another very popular color. So this is your brown. And then Burnt Umber, which is kind of a warmer brown, a little orangey tone. So these are the basic colors. We also have pearlescent colors. So those are General Finishes Pearl Effects, and those are wicked cool. We're not going to use those today, but they kind of function similarly. So keep that in mind. And then this is another example of the glazing. So here, you guys might remember this, we created it a couple weeks ago. So over on this side is just the color. So this was a custom mix, gray blues. And then over here, you can see how that black glaze really highlighted those details. So now you can see more of what's happening. So this is another example of how glazing works. Today, we're doing a lot of things. So all of a sudden I have like tons of announcements and things to tell you about. So we're gonna be giving away the paint. So last time when I was painting this piece, I asked for your input and if you wanted to win some paint, which is this right here, brick red. That's what we're working with today. And I thought one of you might like to use that as well, because General Finishes milk paint is just amazing. It's a really great product. It's easy to use. If you watch that video, you can see I was chatting away and just painting, and it came out beautiful. So we're giving that away. And to enter to win the paint, I asked you to share a previous video. So the reason we ask for sharing is because it just helps any small business grow so much. So anytime that you share it, it helps us reach some new people, helps us grow. And as a tiny business, that's very important. So thank you so much for sharing our videos and anything else that we do. We really appreciate that. And then today we're also going to be giving away or telling you how you can win this beauty. So this is actually the inspiration for the piece that we're working on. We purchased this off of Marketplace. We met a lovely woman and started talking to her, and it turns out she's also a small business owner. So she creates these incredible bags out of the tarp mesh that goes over dump trucks. So she repurposes that. Apparently there's a lot of remnant and waste in that textile industry. So she takes a lot of that and makes them into incredible bags. So like these are seatbelt parts, and then this is that mesh. And then she said these like these ties are used for something in the trucking industry, I'm not exactly sure what. And then marine grade vinyl for the bottoms. So these are so cool. And the former owner of this piece creates them. So that's kind of how it all comes together. So we talked about kind of supporting each other because we've met a few different times along the way. And she's really excited about this piece. I'm really excited about this bag. And one of you guys will get to win it. So I'll tell you how to enter that a little bit later. And gosh, what else? Oh, so I think that's it. This is brick red. So General Finishes milk paint in brick red. It's a great neutral color. This is kind of a masculine piece, so we wanted to go with a strong vibrant color. So I think this really does it. And then we're going to be using this pitch black glaze on top of it. So, you ready to see that? And also, if you have any questions, please type them in. I can see a lot of them, and then if I don't get to it during the video, I try to be really responsive and help you guys out as much as I can. And what else? Oh, so I can also see like when you comment or do the little likes and loves, reactions, that's the word. So that helps us out, so I know kind of if you're into whatever I'm talking about or not. So those are appreciated. Sharing is appreciated. And then today we have, I just showed you the General Finishes Pitch Black Glaze. That is more of it. So if you need some, we are a General Finishes retailer, and you can order it at captivahomedecor.com, and we ship very quickly. Dan's very good about getting those out. So we're using that. I have my handy paint cups that I always talk about. So you always want to paint out of a different container. Don't use your actual can of glaze or any other product, because you don't want to mess with the integrity of it. So especially in this case, I've cut it back significantly. I added a bunch of water, I added a bunch of glaze. If I was to do that in the actual can, for one, it's messy. But also, I'm not going to use barely anything today. So I'll be sealing it back up, and if I don't use it for a time, it's possible that whatever I added to it messes with the integrity of the product and could impact it, could impact performance, it could make it sour. I've had that happen before with a different brand. So paint out of a little cup. It's also way easier to manage, and if you do spill it, not such a big deal. I also have our chip brushes. So for this, we're basically just wiping on the glaze and then wiping it off. So it's not really important to use a very high quality brush because you're just wiping it back anyway. So chip brush is fine for this use. Contamination, that's a good word. So you could contaminate your product, mess with the integrity, all that. And then we also have the white rags. Sorry, this is a weird angle today. So you want to use a consistent rag when you're doing anything like faux finishing, because if you're using like old t-shirts or things that you've repurposed from around the house, it's great to use for some applications in your workshop. But if you're doing something like this and you're wiping it back, which you'll see me do in just a minute, and then you have a seam that is in the middle of your pad that you're wiping with, that will impact your finish. So you want to make sure that you don't have seams or buttons or different kinds of fabrics that you're grabbing from, because if you use like a flannel and then you use a cotton, it would affect your finish, and when you're doing the faux finishing, it becomes important. So these bags of rags are super cheap. Just have some on hand. This is a good use for them. Use your old shirts for other things around the shop. I've also added extender. So this, where am I today? In case you don't know, we film these backwards, so everything's mirror image and it's just weird. So the extender helps to allow your paint, or glaze in this case, to have a longer open time, which I always like, especially when you are manipulating it and creating a faux finish. You want to have a long open time so that you can get it where you want before it starts drying. If it dries super quick, it might start drying, and then if you're not ready, it could impact the finish. So adding the extender or also distilled water can also be used, and that will help keep the paint from drying so quickly. Also, your environment. So we don't talk about this much, but your environment that you're painting in has a huge effect on your paint and the way it actually performs. So today, it's hot in here. It's hot as hell. And it's also humid. So the heat will make it dry a little faster, and then the humidity will kind of slow that back a little bit. So keep that in mind when you're painting. If you're painting in the hot sun, it's going to dry wicked quick. Anytime that it's hotter, it will dry faster. You might want to add extender or just be aware of that. I think we're ready to, oh, that's the other thing I want to show you. Remember last time we were talking about these little, what are they? Dollies. So this is what I prop the furniture up on. I was looking for them last time, couldn't find the damn things. Here they are. So we use these all the time. This is not on them right now because I needed to elevate it a little bit, but this is what we use, and you can just kind of spin the piece around. It's wicked easy. So I wanted to make sure I showed you those. Extender is very similar to Floetrol. You could also use distilled water. They both function to, for one thing, reduce brush strokes, but also allow a longer open time. So that's the deal with that. And also, you want to keep your water bottle handy for this. This is a messy thing. So glazing is pretty messy. So I have a water bottle. I have a whole bunch of rags because we'll use a whole bunch of them. And I have a wet rag and a clean rag and then extra rags. You'll see why. So one of the things that we talked about in class this week, we had our first class this weekend. It went really, really well. I think everyone had a great time, and it was a lot of fun. So one of the things we kept coming back to is having kind of logical ending points and consistency. So here, we know that the top's over here. I can't reach it right now, so I'm not going to get to that part. So this is a nice logical place to stop. So I'm going to go up to that line and then down and create one panel at a time. You want to kind of segment your work and have that be in logical places. If I was going to do just this corner and then try to do like this corner, it wouldn't have nice breaking points and it would look sloppy, unprofessional. You want to be able to tackle one entire piece at a time and have it be in logical ending points. You also want to have consistency. So like we talked about dry time, you are adding water to your finish, so it will kind of, the way I'm using it today, it might perform different tomorrow. So you want to use, I guess, as much consistency as possible. So like I started doing one drawer earlier, and then I did them all. That way I have the same hand, I'm using the same products, I'm using the same consistency of the product so that it looks even everywhere. So here I'm going to do this whole part. And even though this looks really dark, it is a highly pigmented product. So I'm just going to kind of rub it in. And with the glazing, you're trying to get into those details. So it's really important to kind of wiggle it around, find all those nooks and crannies, get it in there, and then kind of wipe it around. And it looks like I'm using a lot, but this stuff is so pigmented. I was just shocked when I opened the container. We've used it quite a few times, and there's probably 1/8 of an inch gone. It's crazy. So just going to kind of wipe this around. In this case, we're wiping it all. Okay, see me? We'll be wiping it all off. So the actual brush strokes right now are not super crucial, but you do need to finish this. So you can't put it on and then walk away because that is where your glaze will stay. And if you're not ready for that, you might not be too happy. So, and then I'm going to get to this line because this is a nice, like I said, logical endpoint. And we have some nice character here. So glazing is a great process to use if you have a piece with a lot of character because it's really going to enhance it. And this, we're just kind of wiping it around. So I like to use my wet rag first. And then you're also watching to make sure that you don't make a mess on the rest of your piece while you're doing this. So I use a wet rag, and then I'll come back with my dry rag. Like I said, this is kind of a quick one. And now we'll move on to the dry. Okay, so I like that part, so I'm not going to touch that again. And the flat panels are kind of a challenge when you're doing wiping it back like this. So I would start on smaller pieces or smaller parts of your piece but this just made sense for what we're doing today. And that is basically what it's going to be. You see that? Oh, it didn't change it a whole lot from your view. There is a lot more dimension from here. So it's kind of a subtle layer when you're doing it on such a flat piece. If you have something highly detailed, that's when this becomes like really apparent and really gorgeous. So whenever I have a piece with a lot of details, to me that screams, you gotta glaze it. If there's something with flats, you have a little, you might want to go a few different ways with it. But you always want to listen to your piece a little bit and let that tell you what the right finish is for it. And then now I'm just kind of cleaning up some of the mess that I made. You always want to be watching all around whatever you're adjacent to make sure that you don't have any like overspray or this is a very loose product, so it kind of splatters a lot. And I don't think I'm going to touch that again. You see? Okay. So now we can move on to the front. So this is where I thought, I was originally just going to do the details in here because I thought that would be pretty, and it's what we did on, there was a coastal blue piece that we did, I don't know, last week, 2 weeks ago. And it came out really pretty just doing the detail glazing, but it had a little different structure. So with this one I realized it would be, it wouldn't be ideal. So that's why I decided to kind of use a glaze everywhere and just use a light coating on the other one. So yeah, it looks like we're pulling a lot off, but really, I can't, there's like almost nothing gone out of here, and I've done, oh gosh, I don't know, 5 or 6 projects out of it. It really goes a long way. It's highly pigmented. So we're using the Pitch Black General Finishes, I told you this is a weird angle, milk paint, no, not milk paint, glaze. So that's what we're using today. We've also done the Van Dyke Brown. I was thinking about doing a 50-50 mix. If you wanted to leave it and have it be a lot darker, you have a few different options. So you can leave more on. You could not use that wet rag. So the wet rag is kind of cutting it a little bit as you use it. Because I know in this case, it's not what I'm looking for. What you could also do, oh, I didn't mention that. So the more textured your finish, your piece is, the more the glaze is going to sink into those crevices and those details. So whether it's a textured paint and it's sinking deeply into those, the porous paint, or if it's, you know, like carving details or whatever, that's where you're going to see more glaze be left. So in this case, I didn't want to significantly change the color of the piece. And I just wanted it to be a light accent. So we've actually sealed the milk paint with a coat of, I think you use satin, high performance top coat. So that has made the surface a little slicker, which allows me to pull off more glaze. And also serves as the first layer of our top coating process. So after this, we'll do probably another coat of satin and then a coat of flat, would be my guess. But if I was to just do the glaze right on top of the milk paint, it would have sunk in more. So someone was asking about having a deeper color. So that would be a way to achieve that. Can you see? Maybe not. Anyway, that spot right there looks pretty darn good. So that's what I was envisioning for these details. So in here, And you can keep adding to this. So if you find that your paint is too loose, you could add, or your glaze, you could add a little bit more glaze to your mix. If you find that it's drying too fast, you could add a little bit more of the extender or just water. It's very easy to use, very versatile. And the other thing is, if you glaze your piece and then you decide that you hate it, you have a few options to easily counteract that. So since it is a water-based product, first step, if you hate it, so you can put it on and then decide you don't like it. You could try to wipe it off more, spray it with a little water, see what you could get off at that point. So that's step one. And then if you still don't like it, you could let it dry and then try to sand it off and see if that gets you to a point that you like. And if that still doesn't work, you just add another coat of another coat of your base paint. So just kind of start over. Yes, you're taking a step back, but it's pretty easy to overcome an issue like that. So if you decide that you really just hate it, you can just add another coat of paint and start over. Or do something else. You could also add different layers of glazes. So we could put, that's like kind of a cool way to make like a barnwood finish, is to add a few different layers of glazes and kind of make your own color out of it. And see, like there I wiped off too much, so I can just go back in. Yeah, it's not sticking a lot because I don't want it to. So that's the way that I've kind of approached this product, or this project. Sometimes I want it to really alter the paint color, but in this case, I really like that vibrant red, so that's what I want to see in the end. And I have a few different rags here, so I'm keep switching between really wet ones and some that are just a little wet, because that is altering how much comes off. But this is usually a very kind of relaxing part in your project. So you're just kind of painting it on and then wiping it around. So if you have other questions, please leave them. I can see them or I'll get back to you. Like I said, we had a really great class this week on Saturday morning. So that we invited, there were 6 women, and they came to our workshop, and we did a furniture painting basics class. So I showed them how to do 4 different finishes, and then we talked about all kinds of stuff. And I think they got excited about it. They kind of explored their creativity, and I can't wait to see what they're going to do with this new knowledge. So we're actually booking another one. So our next one is going to be on, what is it, July 19th. So we're going to do it a Thursday night to see if we can, if that works better for some people's schedules. And again, we'll have the furniture painting basics. So you can come in and learn how to prep your piece, do a flat finish. So your basic standard finish. We'll do a board with that. And then we'll do a dry brushing and 2-color distress and another one. Oh, a rustic finish. So that's going to be really fun. I'm really looking forward to it. And then very soon, we will also be launching online classes. So we're super pumped about that because I know we have a lot of people that watch from all over the place. I'm always amazed seeing that we have like people from Canada or I know there's a lot of like New Zealand and Australia. That's crazy. So I think that's really cool. And we'll be offering a class that you guys can all do online. It's just a lot of logistics, so that'll be coming. So I don't know if it's going to be a live class or a recorded class that you do later. Let me know if you guys have any thoughts on that, because we haven't like cemented all that yet. So what do you like? Do you like to do it live? Do you like to do it at your leisure? Or do you just want like a video that you can watch whenever you want? There's a whole bunch of different ways, of course, to do everything. And we're still trying to figure that out. Oh, and then we're also going to be doing a bring your own piece. So that we'll be having on July 21st. So that is coming, that's going to be Saturday morning, July 21st at 9 o'clock. So bring your own piece would be, you can bring your nightstand or, you know, a small piece that you can carry, and I'll be here to walk you through the whole process. So we'll have a few hours in the shop. Oh, sorry, I'll be right back. And we'll give you like a quick lesson and then basically get a paintbrush in your hand and kind of be there to hold your hand and show you what to do. The ladies in the class were like really excited about it, so I wanted to make sure that I got one out there as soon as possible. So that is in just about 2 weeks or so. This is kind of a sensitive part. There we go. So we also have other glazing videos. So if you want to see some different examples, like I also did a, what was it? Oh, Queenstown Gray with a white glaze. So that was very different and very interesting. So that is available on our page. So if you go to the live videos tab, I started to try to segment them a little bit because I know they're getting all jumbled together. So we'll have a better flow of it soon. But for now, I've kind of grouped them in General Finishes products and then Maison Blanche products. So in the General Finishes products, there's a glazing video on a Queenstown Gray with a white glaze, and that was really interesting. And then there's also, I can't really see the cabinet today, but you know the big white cabinet behind me? I did a video on that. So glazing with antique white and then Van Dyke brown. So that's a very simple, kind of standard antiquing finish. So there is a nice video on that. And I think that might be it for other glazing videos. I believe. I don't know. Yeah, the Queenstown with the white was really cool. So I think, which time is it? Oh, that's perfect. So this, I'm just going to continue this whole process all the way around. So over here, we've already seen how to do a panel there. The drawers are just flat. So I already did those, and it was just the same process as the side panels. You just wipe it back and then use a dry rag and wipe that until you're satisfied. So that's that's it for the glazing part of it. So I'll continue that later because down below it's going to be awkward to try to get to that right now. But I do want to tell you about, oh, the paint giveaway. Where did it go? Here it is. So, you ready to see who wins? So what we've done is asked you to share our previous video. When I painted this piece red, this is Brick Red by General Finishes. I'm a General Finishes retailer in central Massachusetts. So we all decided on this color. I showed you how to paint it live. I was using a Klingon brush and this color, and you could see, I mean, I was really painting away, or chatting away and painting, and it really just came out beautiful. So very easy to work with. I highly recommend using this paint. So one of the things that we're starting to do is now offer a giveaway when we do live videos. So maybe not every time, but many times, I want to get this stuff in your hands. I want you to try it because it's amazing and I know that you'll love it. So we are giving away this Brick Red pint of General Finishes paint, and I'll be shipping it to, we asked you to share our previous video in order to enter to win. And you have to let us know that you shared it because everyone has these privacy settings. So I can't actually see many times that you've shared it or who has shared it. So I appreciate it. And the reason we ask for that is because as a small business, we are trying so hard to reach new people. So anytime that you can give us some word of mouth or share our content, that really speaks volumes, and it really helps us grow very, very much. So we appreciate that. So this is Brick Red, and the winner is Anita Hardin. So, is that you? Can you read that? I know a lot of people listen, don't listen, they just watch a video. So contact me, send me your info. If you know Anita, please let her know that she's getting some new paint. And I'd love to see what you do with it. So let me know. I will try to message you as well, but I'll need your contact info so I can send this paint to you. And then, oh, Mary's watching too. Good. So, like we talked about, this is the inspiration for this piece, and the former owner of this piece is the owner of this company. And what we're doing is a giveaway in order to help her grow, because she's another small business, and we love supporting small businesses because we know how important that is. And it's really cool, so that helps too. So this is made out of recycled mesh this goes over like the top of jump trucks to keep all the sand and stuff in. And then these are old seatbelt parts. So, I keep saying so, I'm sorry. There's a lot of waste that happens in the textile industry, which is not something I ever really thought about. But she has taken the mesh and the seatbelt parts and some other parts, and she recycles them and takes the remnants to make incredible purses and tote bags, clutches, some other stuff too. But she's partnered with us to offer this to you. So if you would like to win this beauty right here, it's perfect for 4th of July. It's the inspiration for this piece. All you have to do is go to her page, which is On the Road Again. See that? On the Road Again Bags on Facebook. So if you Google that, I'll also tag it so that you can find it really easily. So like her page, and then let me know that you liked it, and we'll enter you to win. And then when we do the reveal for this piece, which I hope is on July 4th, that's our plan, but it depends when we get our hardware. That's kind of what we're waiting for. Then I'll announce a winner. So thank you so much for joining me. Again, my name is Kelly with Captiva Home. We are a furniture painting business in Massachusetts. We just glazed this piece. We're giving away this beauty. Go like her page at On the Road Again Bags on Facebook. I'll tag it. And let me know that you did so that I can enter you to win. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Please share our stuff. I'll talk to you soon.